Let's talk about the NL East. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Stats of Videocast. Today we're going to have our little NL East preview as we're going to be giving our predictions. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So today we're having a very, very special guest as we welcome Mets Network to the VCast. Rocco, it's great to have you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So we're going to go over a little NL East preview. I want to make this video for a little while now. This is a juggernaut of a division. It's a lot. I don't think there's one bad team in this division. I think you would agree with me on that. I mean, the Marlins, a team, is projected to finish last in this division, made the playoffs last season. I think a lot of people consider that to be a fluke, but I still think they have a very, very good young team with Brian Anderson. They have a really, really good pitching staff over there. Bullpen starting rotation, very, very young. Cisco Sanchez leading that starting rotation. I mean, very, very good pitching staff over there. They got the Braves, who I think are going to finish the top of the division. They have an elite offense with Freddie Freeman leading that. The MVP of 2020, Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, he had a little bit of a down 2020 season. Still very, very good, but not as good as his 2019 campaign. They have a pretty decent star rotation. You got the Mets, who have really just stacked up this past all season, and of course you got my Phillies, who made some good. They've retained a lot of pieces this past all season. I think they're also going to be very good if they can fix some of their bullpen woes. So just to jump right into it, Rocco, how do you feel about this division heading into the 2021 regular season?
Well, this division is going to be very good, as every single division is going to be competing for a playoff spot. I mean, even like you said, the Miami Marlins, who made the playoffs last year in a shortened season, they played very well with their young guys, led by Brian Anderson, Cisco Sanchez, one of their young starting pitchers. They have a nice young bullpen, and yeah, everyone's good, ready to compete. You got the three-time NL East champion Atlanta Braves they were one win away from the World Series. The Nationals they upgraded this offseason by going out and getting Josh Bell. They traded for Bell. Their starting rotation still good when healthy. You got Max Scherzer, Stephen Strasburg, Patrick Corbin, the three workhorses at their top of the rotation. The bullpen can be a little iffy, but it's still pretty good with the additions they've made. And the Phillies still, that offense, the pitching, the bullpen, they upgraded the bullpen with the additions of Archie Bradley. I like that one. Their rotation, led by Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, that's pretty good. If Spencer Howard, if he could have, I like him too. He's very young, and he could very be a good starting pitcher in the future. Their offense is very good, led by Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto. They signed him back. Didi Gregorius. The return of Adubel Herrera's had a nice young spring. If that offense, if the pitching stays good, Phillies have a very good chance of competing for a playoff spot with the Nationals, Mets, Braves, and Marlins. So yeah, it should be a very fun season. Even the Mets upgraded by going out and getting Francisco Lindor, Carlos Carrasco, and getting a very good depth, which we lacked a year ago, which led to a lot of injuries, and we just couldn't run out with that. But it's going to be a very good division. It's going to be a very fun year, hopefully. And I can't wait for baseball.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm glad that, I'm having a Mets guy come on, because it's nice to have a little different opinion, because I'm sure that, we have our, disagreements when it comes to, who's going to finish first, who's going to finish last. Because I know I had a little talk with you in the DM as to why I believe the Mets are a tad overrated. I know why you also countered with why you disagree with that opinion. So I don't want this to be like a little debate here, but I just want to bring up the discussion, as to why I think the Mets are overrated, and why you do not think the Mets are overrated. So do you want to just explain to me why you think the Mets are not overrated?
I mean, we haven't played a game yet, so that's why I don't think we should. I don't think we should be called overrated, because we haven't even played a single game yet.
Yeah, I see your point there.
But I mean,
overrated compared to what the executives or the high-ranking guys that we know are saying, and some of the
I get what you're saying. We're always they always like to rank us at top, but because of I think. But, I mean, I think we're going to be good this year. If everyone stays healthy, I mean, we have the potential of going very far, even deep into the playoffs if we get there. But, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I see your point. I mean, the thing is it's like, I feel like the Mets is you saw this in 2019 when they had the additions of Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano and Wilson Ramos and guys like that, and they just completely faltered, and they just were not very good. I understand it's a different situation with Steve Cohen manning this team now, and this is different. This is a different ballgame. And Francisco Lindor, a star. I mean, back then in 2019, I mean, the names are not as attractive as they are now. But with the injury of Carlos Carrasco, no Syndergaard not being ready for opening day, how do you feel about the Mets starting rotation getting into opening day, Rocco? Do you feel any confidence? I understand you should go out to DeGrom and Stroman. Now you got this young kid, Peterson. So
well, our rotation. I mean, even with Carrasco going down and Syndergaard not being with Syndergaard not returning till June. I still have a little confidence in the rotation led by the two-time Cy Young Award winner Jacob deGrom. Marcus Stroman coming off is ready. I think he's had a nice spring. I think he's behind deGrom, and then you have Taijuan Walker, the signing of him. David Peterson, he's coming in the second year trying to do good. Joey Lucchesi has had a nice spring. He pitched very good yesterday. He's going to be our fifth starter, and as long as he keeps the ball in the yard, and I think the rotation could be good. It just can't get. We have the depth for a reason. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We upgrade with the depth from Lucchesi, Jordan Yamamoto, those guys that could come in and play the fifth spot, like when key guys like Carlos Carrasco go down or Syndergaard even. But this is something we didn't have a year ago, and that's why it was a disaster last year. That's why when Stroman opted out, Syndergaard being out for the year, it was just not
right.
When we had to put guys like Corey Oswalt in the fifth spot or just to come and pitch, or Chris Flexen, I remember it was just a disaster. Now when we have experienced starters like Joey Lucchesi and Jordan Yamamoto, young guys who never really had a chance with their other clubs, they look pretty good. Both of them look good this spring, and Lucchesi looked bidding for the fifth spot. He's most likely going to get the fifth starting spot. But I have confidence in our rotation.
Yeah, I like all the things you said. I agree with you. I think that I understand you still got some injuries in there, but I think the potential is definitely there. So moving on to the bullpen for the Mets, some issues there last year with the addition of Dylan Betances from the New York Yankees in that free agent deal, and even Edwin Diaz, who had a pretty good bounce back season. How do you feel about Edwin Diaz in the Mets bullpen heading into the 2021 regular season?
I feel very confident. I mean, he's had a very good spring. He's looked good. He's looked very good. From last season, he's proving that he could do what he could do from last year. He looks for another good year and a full season where we need him the most. It's going to be a long year, and we're going to need him to pitch good. I mean, with Lugo going down, I mean, we need him to do good, and as long as he does what he does in spring and does what he does last year, I think he could be very good with his nasty stuff, the slider, the heat. He could be very good for the bullpen, and we need him to lead the bullpen throughout this season.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Now, do you see how do you see the Mets offense panning out in this 2021 regular season with Pete Alonso, who had a great 2019 season, kind of went a little sophomore slump in the 2020 campaign. You still got a lot of good offensive pieces, especially with the addition of Francisco Lindor. I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm going to ask you if you think they're going to extend him, which I think they probably will. And with Jeff McNeil and Michael Conforto, a very, very good player over there. I mean, Dom Smith, a guy who was just raking, especially against the Phils. Just in James McCann, how do you feel about this Mets offense? Do you think it's good enough to compete this year?
Well, yes, I'm looking forward to this offense. As this offense was one of the best last year, even without Lindor. One of the best, and with guys like Ramos and Rosario who slumped last year, and Alonso, the offense was one of the best last year. And now with the addition of Lindor, hopefully, and I'm looking forward to this offense. Led Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto, Lindor, the signing of James McCann. This offense can be very good and very lethal and can cause any pitcher some trouble. As this offense 1 through 9 is very deep, even with the pitcher spot, because guys like DeGrom can even hit if he wanted to. It's just the line's very deep for any pitcher to navigate through, and I think it's going to be it's very dangerous and could be it's one of the top offense in the league. But yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I agree with you, and they're definitely. I definitely think that I mean, you saw in 2020 they led the league in batting average. I mean, that was just insane, and they have a lot of you guys hit for high average on the team. I mean, you take a look at Jeff McNeil, guys that hit machine, and they have a lot of good offensive pieces on that team. And one question, the final question, kind of about the Mets. If you're going over the Mets here, do you think that Francisco Lindor will be a Met next season? Do you think that Steve Cohen is going to extend him? I heard the report that came out that he's not going to, if there's no deal done in spring training, he's just going to wait until free agency. So, what's your confidence level with Lindor staying next year?
Oh, my confidence level, I think, is 75%. I think we're gonna extend him. I mean, two years ago, and before 2019, 2 days before opening day, the Mets extended DeGrom. So I mean, I think we're gonna do that. I mean, that was with old ownership, and I think the new ownership's gonna do it. I mean, I think 2 days. I think before opening day, I think we're going to get it done. I think Cohen was tweeting, I think yesterday or 2 days ago during the game about Lindor. So I'm very confident that we're going to get it done, and he'll be a Met for life, hopefully, and be the franchise star that we've always wanted. And if he's been doing good this spring, he's been raking. He had a good day yesterday, 2 RBIs. I mean, he had some good defense yesterday. He showed the defense, he showed the bat this spring, and I'm looking forward to see it on Thursday against Max Scherzer in Washington. So yeah, I'm very confident we'll get this done.
I agree. I mean, I think that what you gave up to get him, and with Rosario and all that. I mean, I just can't see Steve Cohen, being aggressive as he is. I think with the Wilpons, with Wilpons, I definitely think you could see that happening. But I just can't see Steve Cohen, letting Francisco Lindor walk like that. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the trade wasn't that we kind of fleeced the Indians. I mean, we gave up Rosario, Jimenez, and two prospects, Josh Wolf and Isaiah Green. But I don't think he makes that trade without extending him. I think there's no way you give up. I mean, Rosario did have a bad year last year, but both of them are young and still have time to develop and to be good. And I think that there's no way he gave up that. I don't think he would have made that trade without extending him. Basically, what I mean. I think we're gonna get it done.
Right.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Now, take a look at the other teams in our division. I mean, we talked a little bit about the Nats, the Marlins, the Braves, the Phils, of course. I think at least in my opinion, I don't know about you, but I'd see the Braves still finishing first. With that team over there is just so complete. As I talked about a little bit before, Freddie Freeman, the reigning NL MVP. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. Plays the game at extremely high level. He's really respected. He's just a great player. He's done it for years now. He's a lifelong Brave. I mean, he's just a really good guy and a great teammate over there in Atlanta. And you got Ronald Acuna Jr., just a very polarizing, good young player. You got Ozzie Albies, and this Braves team is very, very good. And we started rotation upgrade a little bit with the addition of Charlie Morton and Drew Smiley as well. I mean, I think our rotation is definitely stepping up a little bit there. So I got some good names in there. I mean, I think that's just a very, very complete team. And so, how do you feel about the Atlanta Braves? I mean, they're definitely going to be a tough competitive, team to face up against 19 times a year, for both of our teams since we're both playing the NL East. So how do you feel about this Atlanta Braves team heading into the season?
Well, yeah, I agree. I think the Braves. I don't know. I go around and I see everyone saying, "Did you see Pacota's rankings where they had the Braves in 4th place?" And
I know. Yeah, I saw. I went off on that.
I don't know how you put the Braves in 4th.
Yeah.
Who were 1 win away against the World Series champions to get the World Series.
Weren't they up 3-1, right? Were they up 3 games to 1? Oh my gosh!
1 win away. One win away to get there, and people are just gonna put them away and think they're not as good, which I don't think. I mean, don't think is possible. That offense,
they're a good team.
Still very late. 1 through 4, that's good. Acuna, Albies, Ozuna, and Freddie Freeman again, as you said.
They retained him. Yeah.
They still have Darno, who's going to be good. Christian Pache is going to get some starting time out there in the outfield.
Right.
They're all
that's just a good team.
And, I mean, even with the losses of Mark Melancon, Shane Green, that bullpen still can be they get a little weaker, but the Braves have shown that they could do whoever they send out there.
They got Will Smith, right? They got Will Smith. Yeah. help that bullpen out.
Will Smith, who missed, I think,
a
couple of games last year due to COVID. Yeah, Will Smith is going to be the closer, and he was very good in 2019, and hopefully can get back to his form. The rotation, like I said, Max Fried, Soroka, who will get there. Soroka's very good, very good. The injury, I watched that injury. He suffered that injury against us last year, and it was just seeing him limping. It was that was a very bad injury to watch. I mean, he pitched when he pitches against us. He's very good. He always does.
Right.
And when he comes back, him and Freed are going to be two young workhorses in that rotation. Then you have Charlie Morton, Drew Smiley, even that rotation is so young. I mean, even with the addition of Morton, who's going to be like that veteran presence in that rotation to help with the young guys. I think the Braves are still the best team in the division and will be for the next couple of years. But I think the Atlanta Braves are the best team in the division.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this discussion because I wasn't sure because I thought maybe you would put the Mets at first. So you're with me. You believe that the Braves are going to finish first in this division?
Yes, I do. I feel like even with all the additions the Mets have made, the Braves have been the best team in this division for the last 3 years, and Mets haven't. I want to see the Mets prove it. I want to see the Mets prove it out on that field because I'm not giving them first place. I know a lot of people put us in first, but I'm not doing that until they prove it because they haven't proved it. Every year they get. I mean, even 2019 was supposed to be a good year. They didn't even we were a couple games short of a wild card berth, but still that if all those blown saves by Diaz. I mean, we always don't live up to expectations, and hopefully this is the year we live up to expectations and get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. And I mean, I sold the Braves in first because the Braves have proved it. They've been good the last 3 years, and they still have a very good team to show with that young offense and that very young rotation. Even with Morton, they still are very good and the team to beat in the division.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad you're objective because, I've had guys come on here before and, I honestly, I have a tendency to bias too. I mean, some guys that now I read things and guys are just, a little bit biased towards their team. I'm really glad you're an objective guy. I really, really like that. And, some, more of the, lower level teams like the Nats and, the 2019 World Series champions, they're just like, I don't really know about them. I guess I think that, they had a decent offseason with the addition of Josh Bell and, with the addition of Brad Hand back into their bullpen as a closer, replaced Sean Doolittle, who was just not there anymore. You could just tell he just was, he's getting older. He's just not as good. And honestly, with this, I don't really know about the Nats. I don't really get that feeling about the Nationals. I just think they're kind of just, I think they're, almost, in the phase of entering kind of like a little rebuild. Max Scherzer getting older, and even with Steven Strasburg, the guys just cannot stay healthy. And Patrick Corbin kind of had a little bit of a rough 2020 campaign. So I know we touched a little bit about this before. How do you feel about the Nats? The Nats are just, I think they're going to finish around 500 or so.
Well, the additions, they brought in Brad Hand, who is a very good closer from Cleveland. They're going to get another year of Will Harris. They added John Lester to the rotation.
Another guy,
I believe he's still hurt, right? Yeah, I believe he's hurt right now.
He's been good through spring. He missed the first couple of days of spring.
He's back. Yeah, he took Harper's old number 34.
Yeah, we also have Joe Ross in the rotation. Bullpen. It looks beside Hand, Harris, Daniel Hudson, and Tanner Rainey. I think he's underrated. I like Rainey a lot. Guys are
Tanner Roark trade. Tanner Roark trade. The guy from Cincinnati.
Yeah, if Rainey can just limited the walks, so he could be very good for the Nationals. Like you were saying, Wander Suero.
He's dangerous.
He's just inconsistent, but if he can, he has the stuff to be good, and hopefully he could be good for Washington as they try to get back to the playoffs. The offense again, they added trading for Josh Bell. They added.
He kind of had it down 2020 season, but he was great in 2019.
The guy's been raking in spring. Josh Bell.
Yeah, he has.
Hit six homers on the spring, and he's just showing why he can get back to his 2019 form.
And Ryan Zimmerman too. He's doing great.
Yeah, Zimmerman's had a nice spring. Trey Turner, Josh Harrison, Roman Castro. That outfield. Juan Soto's a stud. They added Kyle Schwarber out there who's trying to get back.
That's an underrated move, man. Yeah.
And they also have Victor Robles, who is he has a very good glove in the outfield.
A bit of disappointment in my eyes.
Very good glove.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they still have a very good team, and I don't think you should write them off just yet because they still have a very good rotation. Bullpen, they added in the bullpen, and they added on their offense, and it should be a very good year for Washington. I think John Stark can have a very good year. I think I have high hopes for Bell. I mean, people wrote him off after the shortened season. Everyone wrote off like all the players that had bad years, which I don't think.
You can't.
2019, they were very good. Like guys like Yelich who struggled. I feel like that people like Yelich struggled. He's going to be very good.
Altuve,
21. Altuve is still too. I think he's still a top 5 second baseman in the league.
Bellinger struggled.
Even with what happened, Bellinger's still very good. But yeah, I think the Nationals are still a very good team. I think they're the most. I think they're the most underrated team in our division. I feel like they're a sneaky team that got the pitching. They have a decent offense.
If they could stay healthy, they got the pitching. The reason it's just Strasburg has just been so injury prone.
Been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt. He's hurt. He's been hurt a lot. If Scherzer can get back to his form, Corbin wasn't that good last year, but I feel like you don't write those guys off because they were very good in 2019. So I think they'll have a very good year for the Nationals.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that even in addition to that, it's not really an addition, but the guy that's running that team, GM President Mike Rizzo, who I respect greatly, he's just a very, really smart guy, and I just think he makes great moves for that national team. He really seems to know what he's doing over there, and he's just a really, really smart guy. I really respect him at a high level. And moving on now, the Miami Marlins, they didn't really do much this offseason at all, really. They kind of just remained the same. They're definitely the youngest team in the division. I don't see them making the playoffs, but honestly, there's not one bad team in this division. I said at the beginning of the video. But how do you feel about the Miami Marlins? Are you scared of the Miami Marlins heading into this season?
I'm not scared, but they're definitely a team to not. They're definitely not a team that I take lightly. They have their rotations very young, led by Sixto Sanchez, Sandy Alcantara, Pablo Lopez. They still have a very good young rotation. Like I said, they still have their offense is not that bad. Starlin Marte, Jesus Aguilar. They still have a good lineup with Corey Dickerson, Brian Anderson. They added Adam Duvall, who had a nice year last year.
He got non-tendered. He was great with the Braves. That was kind of a weird move, wasn't it? Yeah.
He got non-tendered.
Yeah.
After having a career year, but I think he's good. He's going to be good for Miami this year. Having an everyday role, I felt like it was better for Duvall because now he'll play every day in Miami as he would have in Atlanta. But Miami still is young. Their farm system is very young, very good young guys going to be coming up in the next couple of years.
They're just going to get better. They're only going to get better. This division is just a really, really tough division, as we keep saying.
In the next couple of years, I think they're going to be one of the best. I think they're going to be, in the next couple of years with all the talent coming out, I think they're going to be good in this division soon. Teams like the Nationals, who are very old, I think, like in years that
you're going to see them fall down. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. And just do a little, the final, team division we haven't really talked about. My Phillies, I'm actually having a little, some high hopes about this team. You have to keep this in mind. They are in a really, really tough division, but they made a lot of good moves. Additions to Archie Bradley, Jose Alvarado. They've really, significantly improved the bullpen. The past 3 days they've struggled in the bullpen, but they're throwing guys they're using. They're not using the top dogs like I keep saying. And the starting rotation, I think it's decent. With Nolan Wheel at the top, that is a very, very good 1-2 punch. You got Zach Eflin, who's had himself a pretty decent spring and had himself a very, very solid 2020 season. If he could just stay consistent, I think that's going to be a really dangerous rotation. And Matt Moore and Chase Anderson, they're just okay. They're just kind of mediocre. But I think the Phillies' rotation is significantly better than it was at the start of last season. And with the Phillies' offense, they didn't really had a whole lot to the offense. They just retained a lot of pieces. That was the biggest issue. Retaining these pieces like Didi Gregorius and JT Muto, and hopefully we can have a monster out of Bryce Harper. But keep in mind that he was playing hurt like the second half of the 2020 season last year. He was on track to. He was having an MVP season, and he really got set back. JT now can settle in after signing that 5-year contract, and Didi now here for 2 years, and Alec Boehm entering his first full season as a Philadelphia Philly. So I'm really, McCutchen, hopefully, he could turn back to 2019 ways. He's not going to be the 2013 McCutchen, but hopefully we can get the 2019 McCutchen. But Honestly, our bench is really good. I mean, our bench is very solid. It's very versatile. I mean, with the addition of Brad Miller. I mean, the re-addition of Brad Miller pretty much since he was here in 2019. A guy played all around the diamond. And Scott Kieran, we just got news that he is going to start the season in the minor leagues. We all know that most likely he probably will be back up in the big leagues coming off the Phillies bench. So I'm really confident about this, this Phillies team. But the problem is, I just don't know if it's good enough to compete legitimately for this NL East division. I could possibly see the Phillies making a second seed wild card. But just to wrap things up here, just a quick little segment, just to give your final thoughts on the Phils and this division.
Yeah, for the Phillies, I think that rotation is very strong at the top with Aaron Nola and former Matt Zach Wheeler. Then they have guys like Velasquez. They added Matt Moore. They have Zach Eflin, who can be good. And then on the bullpen, like I said, I like the Archie Bradley move. They added Connor Brogdon. Jose Alvarado Alvarado was a very underrated move. Guy throws absolute gas. David Hale, I mean, he added him. Matt Moore, I said, and then Hector Neris, and hopefully he could have a bounce back year. Then I was shocked with this week that the Phillies did today. They optioned Jojo Romero, which
I know. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
One lefty through the first couple of games.
I don't get that.
Like I said, your offense is still good. JT Realmuto behind the dish. You have Alex Gray, who was very good last year. I thought could have been the rookie of the year, but I mean, he's still very good. Didi Gregorius, I like that. He's very solid at short. Reese Hoskins is good. Gene Segura, Matt Killer. Outfield, Bryce Harper, McCutcheon, if he could, like you said, not 2013, but as long as he could put up decent numbers, he could be very good.
Right.
They also have Adam Hazley, who can be good if he stays healthy.
Stay healthy,
and then
that's
Roman
the problem.
Roman Quinn I think it's just going to be like for speed off the bench.
Yeah.
He's very fast.
I think he's a little
and then
overrated.
you still have a Jubal Herrera. Yeah, well, Quinn, I wouldn't say overrated. He just can't stay healthy, and when he has his shot, he does good, and then he just hurt. But you also have Herrera, who's had a good spring, and I think has a very good chance of making it. But yeah, I think the Phils at best are the fourth best team in our division. I think. I mean,
I can feel that.
I only take the Nationals above the Phillies because of the Nationals rotation, and I think because if the Phillies have the Nats rotation, Phillies are better. But the Phillies offense is much better than the Nationals. I just think that the Nationals are better pitching than the Phillies, which
pitching wins games. Pitching wins games.
The Phillies lacked pitching the last couple of years, and that's why they couldn't make the playoffs because of the pitching. Pitching fell apart, or actually no, they really didn't add pitching. David Robertson was a good signing, but they really didn't address the bullpen, which led
they didn't. I really forgot about that.
Yeah, Robertson was I'm pretty sure he signed, and then Tommy John. I don't think he. I mean, I feel you. We signed Jed Lowry, and he played like 2 games for 2 years, and I never really played. But yeah, I think this division is going to be one of the best this year, if not the best this year. And
I think it's the best division in sports. I was talking to somebody like that. They think this is the best division in sports, and I agree.
I think this is going to be a very good year, and I say good luck to your Phillies. Good hope for a good year. I can't wait till we match up against each other for the first time.
It's going to be fun. April 6th, I'm going against the Mets. So
yes,
I'm taking some photos. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have this talk with you, man.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Phillies House for Instagram, Telegram, Finance, Instagram, card text 267-225-3292. Email at phillieshouse@gmail.com. I'll see you guys this afternoon. The game is already going on. I'm not going to give away any information. So once again, I was joined by Rocco, Mets Networks. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro, and I'm thankful for getting me on here.
Yeah, of course. We'll hopefully do it again soon. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phillies. I'll see you again.